Thank you very much, Eddie. Premier Dwight Ball says the window is closing for work to happen on methylmercury at Muskrat Falls, but he's not giving up yet. That was devastating news today for Northern Labrador MHA Lela Evans, who called it a case of deliberate inaction by the provincial government. NTV's Michael Connors joins us live with more on the story. Michael?
Thank you very much, Glenn. It's been almost 3 years since protests shut down the Muskrat Falls work site, and now it looks like one of the key recommendations to come out of that shutdown is not going to happen. It was in the fall of 2016 that Labrador land protectors occupied the Muskrat Falls work site, shutting down construction. They wanted action to prevent methylmercury from contaminating the food supply downstream. After a late-night meeting with Indigenous leaders, Premier Dwight Ball agreed to create an independent expert advisory committee. But evidence presented last week at the Muskrat Falls inquiry and reported by the Telegram indicates the clock has run out on that process.
So why didn't the minister tell the House that it was already too late for capping?
We are looking at options that we can actually add to actually mitigate methylmercury, Mr. Speaker.
The committee made 4 recommendations last year. It was the 4th one that was in dispute. It called for capping of wetlands and targeted soil removal. The Innu Nation opposed soil removal, and today Premier Dwight Ball finally admitted that one is off the table.
Well, soil removal right now, I think it's fair to say that that's not an option.
But Ball is still not conceding that it's too late to cap the wetlands. He says Cabinet actually approved capping back in January, but more studies had to be done after that. He's working on setting up an implementation committee with the Indigenous groups, but the Innu Nation is the only one to respond so far. Ball says monitoring shows that methylmercury levels have not increased as fast as predicted.
Right now, we're exploring what options we have available to us with capping. If indeed, there's work that can be done at all, either pre or post impoundment. And so this is what we're working with right now, just to make sure that is the window actually closed, or are there opportunities that we can actually do something.
But Torngat Mountains MHA Lela Evans argues the methylmercury will get worse once the reservoir is fully flooded.
We're not talking politics. We're talking about food safety. We're talking about the health of the people. But it's a very emotional time for me. And I'm sitting there in the House across from the Premier, and he's talking about things that don't exist. Right? The soil removal and the capping is the only form that they could do, the only actions they could take. And there was agreement amongst all the people on the committee that they would do capping. That was agreed upon. So that was one form of preventative measures that we could actually put in place. And they stalled 2016, 2017, 2018, we're into 2019. Inaction.
Lela Evans also asked today what the date will be for full impoundment of the Muskrat Falls Reservoir, but there was no answer from the government. Glenn?
Michael Connors joining us live. Thank you, Michael.